Hey there, entrepreneurs. My name is Sushant, and welcome to Trip Talks. This is the show where I interview successful e-commerce entrepreneurs, business executives, and thought leaders, and ask them questions about their business story and also dive deep into some of the strategies and tactics that they have used to start and grow their businesses. And today I'm really excited to welcome Tyson Walters to the show. Tyson is the CEO and founder of Shed Defender. Shed Defender is a versatile onesie that contains pet dog hair and dander, reduces anxiety, and can replace the medical cone for dogs with hot spots, skin conditions, allergies, surgical sites, and more. They carry 9 different sizes, so they can accommodate dogs from 4 pounds to 130 pounds plus sizes. And today I want to ask Tyson a few questions about his startup story and some of the strategies and tactics that he has used to start and grow his business. So thank you so much for your time today, Tyson, and for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So I know that you got the idea for your product and you started because of a personal need. So could you share a little bit about your startup story? How did you get the idea for this product? And what is your startup story?
Yeah, so that's a pretty common question. And most people who know me and have seen my St. Bernard, they understand why I created it. I got Harley probably 11. Yeah, she's 11 now. Didn't realize how much dogs actually shed, or actually her breed at least. And then within, the first year, her hair was just getting everywhere. There's just not a whole lot you can do. I mean, you can brush them every day, you can bathe them, do all that stuff. But I mean, there's always just excessive shedding. And it was something, I could deal with, but it was like it got in my car, my house, and I brought her everywhere too. So friends and family were complaining about the hair. I'd have to leave her outside or not bring her, or my roommates were getting very upset about it. So I got tired of other people complaining about her hair being everywhere. So, I looked on the market and tried to find other products, that could fix the solution or be the solution, other than just, a brush and bathing. And there was absolutely nothing out there, that would work. So, I came up with the idea in 2011, I believe. And I just moved home from college. So I had my mom start sewing the first prototype of just a dog suit onesie that would just contain the dog's hair, and wear it for situational use in the house, the car, other people's houses and stuff like that. So for me, it was a no-brainer, but yeah, a lot of people are curious why I want to wrap my dog in a onesie.
Okay. And I know that at a certain point, while making that 3 or 4 sales per month or something, you had an exponential growth where the Dodo, which is the site that focuses on animal videos, they, I believe, wrote an article for you, and the sales went off the charts. Can you share that story? What happened there and what difference it made for your business?
Yeah, that was a pivotal point in the business and, personally my life as well. So I was actually right around the time where I was thinking about just tabling this idea and, going to find a different career and stuff like that. So, I was selling online for like a year and a half, once again, selling a couple a month maybe. And the Dodo picked up on it and they're like, we usually don't do any articles promoting products. That's not, what we do, but it's such a unique product. We'd love to write something about it. And I didn't think much of it. Because I've had some people do that before and, there's no traction, there's nothing there. But they did an article, and as soon as it hit at 8 a.m, I woke up to, on Shopify, you hear that ding when you get a sale. And I was just hearing dings all day. I'm used to like 2 a month. I'm kidding, like 100 in one day. And it just took off from there. It went viral. And next thing you know, it's just kept going. It's on the Daily Mail, and I was getting calls from New Zealand radio stations and United Kingdom, all over the world, and it just kept going and going, and BuzzFeed picked up on it. Well, that was later. But yeah, I just kept going like wildfire. Once it goes, one person shares it. And then from there, I was used to having, my seamstress do, maybe she can make 3 or 4 a day, but with like 1,000 orders, I had to find a manufacturer. The whole business, I had to go legitimate like immediately, and I really had to give a button gear to get things moving. Morning America, The View, there, called National Apparel.
Does your business have like a seasonality where, you see like people buying more of these in winter because they think it will protect dogs from like cold weather or something like that?
So we kind of have a couple different peaks, and it's been hard to tell because we've had so many spikes due to, viral videos. It's kind of hit and miss, but I mean, definitely Q4 is by far our biggest. I mean, it usually accounts for, probably almost 50% of sales. Just because Halloween's a big one. People love dressing up their dog.
Yeah.
And then between Thanksgiving and the holidays, Christmas buying, people traveling with their dogs to family and friends' houses during the holidays. They like to have it. So Q4 is our big seller. And then the shedding season is a big one too. So it kind of picks up around March, April, June. Those 3 months are pretty good. Or March, April, May. When the dogs start shedding, and it's that heavy season and allergy season too as well.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about the channels that you're selling. It seems like you're only selling e-commerce, like your website, Amazon, and I believe one other place. Did you never pursue going retail?
We did, but it's tough. We have some small mom and pop shops. We sell to some vet clinics, but mainly we focus on e-commerce. We really haven't been ready to go to any big box stores. Several reasons. One being you have to have a lot of capital to get into those stores. If they have a big purchase order, which they will, the lead time to make it and then get paid by them. I mean, you have to have that capital up front for quite a while to even get paid back. Looking back, our packaging wasn't that great for retail. We didn't have that strategy in mind. So moving forward, this year was going to be our year to try and get into brick and mortar. We changed our packaging, retail friendly, got the prices down a little bit, and then COVID hit, and that completely ruined that whole strategy. So we kind of put that on halt, and we're still trying to. And we also created some new products too. We wanted to offer our whole line of products instead of just one. That helps retail stores. We could get some displays and shippers with all our products. We created, the sport version, and then we got some new products as well that I can explain later. So next year we're going to try and do that. But for now, if anything, we're trying to get into, I'm starting to sell on Amazon Europe, Amazon Canada, Amazon Australia, and kind of expand in those online marketplaces for now.
Okay. Working with Amazon, when you have like additional costs with the tariffs and things like that, and I know that when you sell on Amazon, Amazon has its own, high fees and things like that, whatever service that you use. Do you find that it's still worth it for you in terms of like making profits and things like that because the volume of orders that you get from Amazon is so high?
Oh yeah. I mean, really, they take 15% of each sale. But, if you compare it, on our site, we usually give out discounts and things like that. And then we also, we're paying for shipping. So after you factor in all those, Amazon shipping is cheaper. They pay for return shipping. So our exchanges, returns, we don't have to worry about that. And then, there's no discounts. People pay full price on Amazon. So in the end, it's not that bad of a comparison. And to be on the biggest marketplace in the world is a must for us. I mean, it accounts for probably 65% of all our sales.
Okay. And all your fulfillment is through Amazon FBA, or do you do some of your own also?
On our site, we have a fulfillment center, 3PL, and then we use Amazon FBA for the Amazon marketplace.
Okay. So why not use FBA for everything if it is less expensive?
A few reasons. I don't want all my product in the hands of Amazon. Okay. I can't ship to Chewy through them, Chewy.com. Okay. They don't do business orders, business to business. They don't do a few things. I looked into it a couple times and it just wasn't the right move. I don't want them having complete control over your product. You never know what can happen with them. They change a policy or something, and to get your product out, they're so backed up right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ordered stuff on Amazon, it never shows up on time right now. I've had
Yeah.
stuff I sent in May and it still hasn't been transferred into their fulfillment centers. So it's not something I want to put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a few questions about Shark Tank, because I know you had a appearance on Shark Tank, and then you also you were successful in receiving funding there. Could you share a little bit what, like, when you were looking for funding, what was the reasoning for you to go on Shark Tank? Was it more that these investors would help you out in ways that, you know, a traditional funding source would not be able to help you? Was it more that you can get some advertising out of it? So could you share a little bit, like, what was the before when you went in there, what was the rationale?
Well, we actually weren't looking for funding. We were doing all right. I didn't even apply for the show. They reached out to us.
Okay.
So, I mean, I had thought about applying for a year or so, just, you know, getting the exposure. But yeah, we're lucky enough. One of the producers, which they do this a lot, they reached out to you. And I definitely wanted to do it. So, you know, they helped us do all the videos, the auditions, stuff like that, which was nice through like the 6-month process of getting the application in and getting, you know, actually on the show. But yeah, the money would have been great. But if anything, we were looking for the exposure, obviously. And then if we did team up with the Shark, we wanted more of a helping hand, a partner, a strategy partner. You know, money, yes, we always want and need. That's totally fine. We want to expand and innovate. But I want someone who could help us get to the next level, someone I could call when I needed help and kind of strategize and formalize, you know, ideas to get to the next level. Not just someone who's going to give us money and then it's all on me. So that was our idea, you know, going in.
But then, so you did eventually end up getting the funding from there, right?
Well, we got a deal with Lori.
Okay.
We got 3 offers, and I took a deal with Lori. So on TV, it looks like we got a deal. But after it aired, we both parties decided it wasn't really a good fit. You know, we didn't think our product would be good on QVC, and that's kind of her bread and butter. So we amicably, you know, decided not to go forward. But I mean, all the Sharks were nice. The show was great. You know, I have nothing bad to say. Lori was awesome. I just don't think she would have enough time for us. I don't think it was, you know, just not a good fit. So we eventually found private equity funding later. And so this year we finally teamed up with a private equity firm. And so they're really involved in the pet industry, and they've helped us, you know, strategize, add new products, which is a big push for us. So it ended up working out a lot better this way.
Do you, I think one of the discussion in there was, you know, they asked you, do you have like intellectual property protection, like trademarks and patents and things like that? And I think at that point on the show, you said, you know, you didn't pursue it or something along those lines. So my question is, you know, given that this is such a unique product, are you, do you now have intellectual property rights? Like, what is the process of doing that? What are the pros and cons? And do you worry like your product getting copied?
Yeah, we'd always worried about it. We worried about it before we went on the show. The problem with the patent is it took me so long to create the product, and I was selling. There's limitations. There's time limitations on it. So once you bring a market or a product to market and advertise that it's for sale, which I had done, you have a year to file a patent. And at that time, I did not have the money. You know, you're talking thousands of dollars. And I didn't really know about the year, you know, time limit. So, you know, it had expired. So at that point, you forfeit, you know, the opportunity for it. But, you know, in the end, so many patents are easy to get around. Even if you have it, someone's going to knock you off in China anyways. You know, I have one friend who I met on Shark Tank, and they've spent a couple $100,000 fighting knockoffs with lawyers and attorney fees when they might have been better off spending that money developing new products and going, you know, other ways. So, you know, our new products, we have a couple patents going forward, but, you know, we have a head start several year head start. We have a great product. We have special fabric that we use that's just incredible. You can tell the difference between us. And there's a couple knockoffs you see on Amazon that are super cheap. It almost helps us. People buy those and they rip in a second, and then they go buy our product. So yeah, you're always going to worry about that, and it's always going to happen. But, you know, for the most part, we haven't had too many issues. We have a pretty good customer base that's loyal. You know, our name is finally becoming, I mean, it's not huge by any means, but it's becoming aware. People like, oh, I've seen that, I've heard of that. So, you know, they're going to want to buy at least the top tier product. So far that's been working. We'll see what happens.
So now we're going to move on to our rapid fire round, and the idea here is that I'll ask you a few questions and you have to answer them in 1 or 2 words or 1 or 2 sentences. So the first question is, do you have any book recommendations for entrepreneurs or business people in 2020, and why?
You know, I used to love this book. Now I don't really care for it too much, but The 4-Hour Work Week.
Okay.
It got me motivated to work from home and think outside the box and do things on my own. So, you know, I could recommend that book. It's okay, but that was probably 8 years ago, so it's not my favorite anymore. But it is a good book. It's
a good title, but I think, you know, as entrepreneurs, 4 hours per week is not enough usually.
It's not realistic, and Tim Ferriss even apologized after he made that book. He made another one, so I'd recommend his second book.
Okay. An innovative product or idea in the current e-commerce, retail, or tech landscape that you're excited about?
I mean, this kind of goes along with Elon Musk stuff. I love space. I love the rocket technology. Everything Elon Musk does, I'm infatuated with all that stuff.
Elon Musk is an alien. He's a productivity tool or software that you would recommend?
You know, for my business, I feel like reviews are everything. We use a company called Yapo. It's one of the bigger ones, and it's a review system. I would highly recommend that.
Startup or business in e-commerce, retail, or tech that you think is doing great things right now?
You know, I do not know. Nothing comes to mind at the moment. Sorry.
Okay. A peer entrepreneur or business person who inspires you?
You know, that's got to be Elon Musk again. I love what he does. He's great.
And finally, the best business advice that you have ever received or you would give to other entrepreneurs?
You know, don't be naive. You have to understand you got to put in the work. Nothing happens overnight. When it does, it just makes things even more difficult. So put in the work. Reward will be later. And yeah, don't be naive. You're not going to get rich overnight.